Hi friends, this is Chandrasekhar back again. Uh, as you know, I will be talking on grahas, the graha which follows Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, and now the great Venus, Shukra, sixth in order from Sun, uh, according to the order of weekdays, as we can see. Now, this Venus is of interest to many because he represents many things, but we will, as usual, try to find out what is said about it in the Navagraha Stotra. He is described as Himakunda Mrunalabham Daityanam Paramam Gurum Sarvashastra Pravaktaram Bhargavam Pranamamyaham, which means, O Bhargav, he is supposed to be son of Rishi Bhrigu. You have heard of Bhrigu Sahitas. I am sure you are astrologers, and he is seen as son of Rishi Bhrigu, and he is said to be resplendent as the roots. Mrunala is fibrous roots of lotus, and Himakunda means he shines like the falling snow, is white, and that is how he is described. He is the top guru, the preceptor of Daityas. Those who are not Devas are called Daityas, and then he is also said to be one who reveals all Shastras, all sciences, Sarva Shastra Pravaktaram, one who talks or really reveals all the Shastras. Such a Bhargava I salute. That is what is said in the Navagraha Stotra. So you can see that he is resplendent with him. And see, the roots of lotus are fibrous, gossamer like. So, though his name is Sita, the white one, generally he indicates a bit of a dark shade, which is very pleasing to the eyes. See, the basic part about Venus that you should understand, he is attractive. He means if Venus influences the Lagna, or he is placed in the seventh aspecting the Lagna, he would be attractive, a bit dark, not black, neither absolute white, in between, and it's very attractive. He has bright eyes. We should know that Venus rules eyesight as such. If I have not already told in the lectures of Sun and Moon, Sun represents the right eye, Moon represents the left eye, Venus represents sight as such. So any harm to either Sun or Moon or even Venus would indicate more eye trouble as such to the eyesight, whereas Sun and Moon can indicate some trouble to the right or the left eye. See, all these are luminaries, these are brilliant planets. Then we have to understand that he has curly and black or dark hair. Those hair are a bit thin, and so these are all attributes of Venus. Venus is also called the astrologer, and there is a story about it. If it is not too long, I can tell you. There was those who are well versed with the Prashna chart will understand that there was a story about Jupiter and Venus going in a village, and a woman came running crying that her son is lost, and then another woman was just passing by with a bucket with about a foot of rope left to it, saying that my rope broke, and so the bucket fell down and one foot of rope broke, and so she was crying because she could not fetch water from the well. Guru said that this means the son of the earlier woman has been caught and bound by ropes by some thieves, and he is thrown in a sea, and he would not return, but she would get information about this in an hour. Actually, he said prahara. Uh, so there are 8 prahara. So he said 1 prahara. I am, for sake of easy understanding, let us take it as 1 hour. And then the woman started crying. Shukra, Venus, said, "Don't cry, your son will return in an hour. It is right that he has been bound by the thieves and thrown in the sea, but he will come in an hour." He returned, and after all of them, naturally genuflected at feet of both the Brahmins, the great Brahmins, Venus and Jupiter, both are classified as Brahmins among planets, and by the way, both are also advisors to the king. They are mantri. So Jupiter asked Venus, "How did you come to this conclusion?" So Venus asked, "What did you think?" He said, "I thought that length of the rope indicates the time, rope indicates binding, and the bucket falling in the well indicates that he has fallen or he is thrown in some sea and he is dead. So how did you come to this conclusion?" Venus said, "No, I looked at it from a different point of view. I thought of the family of the boy as the well. And since the bucket is tied with a rope, I took it that he was removed, bound by the rope, by the thieves. But since the rope is now broken and the bucket has fallen back into the well, that means this guy will return, and that is what happened." So this is a story indicating that he is, and as I was telling in the lecture on Buddha, many people think that Venus is the astrologer. He is sitting in the 2nd or 3rd house. He is supposed to give good astrological skills, but this is a matter of opinion. I would not go deeper into it. But this is just to let you know why he is known as an astrologer. As we can see, he rules over semen in the Kalapurusha. Semen of the Kalapurusha. He is a female planet. He is a watery planet. He is Karaka for spouse, both for male and female. He has large arms. He has a broad face, a broad chest. He is expert in coitus, the sexual act. You have to understand all these things. He is also very fortunate in the sense of he gets wealth, and you have to understand that all this will happen when he is strong. In all these things there will be deficiency when Venus is weak. Also remember that most of the planets in the 12th house are supposed to indicate the way they will spend money, and they go weak there, being Trikabhava, but Venus in 12th is supposed to be good, causing a Raj Yoga, because in the natural zodiac, that is Pisces, which is a Rashi of exaltation of Venus, and that may be the reason, or because he can spend on luxuries, he will get the wherewithals to do that. We are also to understand that anything which is presented in a beautiful manner is ruled by Venus. That is why though milk is ruled by moon, milk products are ruled by Venus. They are processed, they are converted into something beautifully packed and then sold. So this always has to be understood. Mars with Venus. Venus is about arts, various art forms including the performing arts, the drawing, and all different forms of art. With Mars, Mars is called Dambha. He tells more than what it is, and he is a bit of proud. He can create scenes which may not be actually true. So that is called Dambhik. Dambha in Sanskrit, difficult to translate, but so I say he has a habit of crying about his own, rather self-aggrandizement is one of the specialties of Mars. That is why you will find the personnel of the armed forces dressed in beautiful dresses, shouting at the top of their voice when they call the orders or give orders to troops, or even when they charge the enemy, they would shout and then charge, which a sane person would not do, because that would forewarn the enemy. But that is how Mars works, and he with Venus can indicate somebody who is good at art forms. because Venus gives the arts, and advertising those arts in a way which is larger than life is what Mars is good at. So you have to always combine the two planets and understand what will happen when they conjoin. Depending on the bhava they occupy, the results will be more obvious there. Now, this Venus ruling semen has a very important role to play in reproduction. So, in case of male, if Venus is afflicted by Rahu or Ketu and connected with 6th or the 8th bhava, you can conclude that there could be some problem in motility of the sperm or volume of semen. That motility part comes more, the less motility of sperm will come more when even Saturn is connected with the Venus or the 6th bhava, because Saturn is called Manda, the slow one, as we will see in the next lecture on Saturn. So this is primarily Venus. He is said to be preceptor of Daityas, as I said. But you remember that Daityas had all the, see, they could defeat Devas, and many a times there are, stories of they are, going against the Devas, defeating them, getting the kingdom of heaven and all that. So that is why he is called the Paramam Guru, the great Guru. He is also one who is said to be the knower of Mrita Sanjeevani. You see, making somebody alive again, some dead body alive again. And there is a mythological story behind it. We shall not go into it, but understand that Lord Shiva is said to have given him that mantra. And so now you can connect it very easily. Semen, because of semen, a child is born when it conjoins with ova, and this is Venus. So he gives birth to something which independently is something which goes off, like semen will have no, it cannot produce by itself, the ova cannot produce by itself. But when they combine, then somebody is born. So in a way, from death to life is what happens. And in our Shastra, there are different ways of expressing things and telling different principles. By giving larger than life example, he was supposed to have entered Lord Shiva's stomach and then came out through his penis as form of semen, and all these are, and that is why he knows everything that Lord Shiva knows and all those things, and that is why he is called the Param Guru. Whereas Guru, the Jupiter, is called only Guru, the preceptor. He is called the great Guru of Daityas. But remember, both are Brahmins, both are advisors. If you look at the position of planets, you will understand that his place comes on either side of Mercury, the prince. So we must understand how these things are placed, why they are placed, and after him comes Mars. So Venus advises the family of the king. The king, the queen, and the prince are advised by Venus. You draw all the 12 rashis, keep sun and moon side by side. From moon onwards, go 3, 2, 1, and 12, and so on. Whereas from king's side, the sun's side, go to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you will get the entire planetary cabinet, the king and queen sitting at the top, flanked by Mercury, the prince, flanked by Venus. Because Venus is about bhogas, he is about enjoyment, he is about wealth. He is about knowledge, because without knowledge you cannot get either of the things. So he is advisor to the basically cabinet, and then rather he advises the king's family. Then comes Mars, the Senapati, the commander-in-chief, who is then flanked by Guru, who advises all of them about what? About their duties. And then comes Saturn, who is about hard work, and who follows the dharma. Whatever you do, the results of that are to be given by Saturn. Is a way of expressing things. As I have already told in my earlier lectures, it is those planets whose position at the time of birth creates a certain field which influences our brain, and that is how we behave in certain fashion. Let this never be unclear to anybody, so that the scientific basis of astrology can be learned. The names of the grahas are given just to indicate how that thing will influence somebody. And so, my dear friend, I think this is all that you need to know about Venus. Remember that his gem is diamond. As the Navagraha Stotra about him says, he is beautiful, he is effulgent and so splendorous. And look at diamond, that is why he is called Sita. And where from diamond comes, he comes from coal. And so about that I will talk in the next lecture, of why Saturn and Venus are bosom friends. Remember that. And Mercury, Saturn, Venus are natural friends. And there is a reason to that, which I will perhaps talk about when I talk about Saturn, the last of the 7 planets who have physical bodies. The rest are Rahu and Ketu, about which we will talk later. They are the most difficult to understand, and in all these years of astrology, one thing I have seen is Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu and Ketu are a bit more difficult to understand, and once you understand them, it will be easy to understand the natal chart and how the Jataka thinks and what he is likely to do and what is likely to happen in his life in a very general manner. The precise time being understood from the dashas and the transits operating at a particular point of time. So, my friends, I hope Shukra, Venus, is a female planet. So, understand that his being in 6th can have, you can have females as the your enemies. So, people should understand this also. He gains directional strength in the north direction. So you have to understand that many a times direction of planets and their gaining strength are different places. Moon and since this we have got some time to talk about it. Directional strengths are Jupiter and Mercury in the Lagna, gain directional strength. In the 4th, Moon and Venus gain directional strength. In the 10th house, Sun and Mars gain directional strength. And in the 7th house, it is the great Saturn who gets directional strength. Remember that. Now you can understand career, Sun and Mars, the administrator and the one who has energy to work and do things or fight with others and whatever. And here both the female planets, Moon and the great Venus, the female planets in the house of mother. The 4th house is mother's house. We have seen in the chapter on, the lecture on 4th bhavas. That is where you feel safe. Your personality needs the intellect of Guru and Mercury. That is where they are supposed to be strong. Saturn in the 7th house. That is where Sun sets. And Saturn from there aspects the 9th house. This is the house of spirituality. This is the house of Guru. Saturn aspecting the 9th house can lead a person at a later age. He is a Vruddha Graha, that we will talk about later, to spiritual awakening or getting Guru and all those things. So, I will come to the end of this lecture of mine on Venus. As usual, you do let me know your reactions, or whether you like it, whether you find something missing, some point that I might have forgotten. The length of video makes it necessary for me to make this brief, but I am sure the essence is understood. And so, my friends, the next lecture will be on the great Shani, Saturn, about whom everybody is scared. There is nothing to be scared about it. We will talk about it in that lecture. So my friends, I take your leave. Bye.